All right, everybody, welcome to the video here for lesson number 4, or lesson number 5 if you're an accelerated, called Putting It All Together. So for this lesson, we're kind of just reviewing all the different skills that we learned in the first 3 or 4 lessons in this class. So number 1 asks us to subtract. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to distribute the negative. So I have 2x squared minus x cubed minus 9x plus 1 minus x cubed minus 7x plus 3x squared minus 1. Now I'm looking for like terms. Start with the largest exponents. I have a negative x and a negative x cubed, so that becomes negative 2x cubes. Use those up. Next biggest term is x squared, so that's going to combine to give me 5x squareds. Those are gone. Next biggest term is x, so that's negative 16x. And plus 1 and minus 1 become nothing. So there's your answer. That's an x. All right, next one. X plus 3 squared minus x plus 4 squared. So first thing we want to do is multiply. So if I do x plus 3 squared, we can do our tabular method. Gives us x squared, 3x, and 9. And we get x squared plus 6x plus 9. Now, I don't know if you've ever noticed the pattern here, but when you multiply a binomial by itself, it's always going to be x squared. The middle term is going to be the addition of the number, so 4 plus 4 is 8. And the last term is going to be 4 times 4, which is 16. That's kind of like the quick way of doing it. Then if you do your subtraction, the x squareds cancel. You're going to get a negative 2x, and you're going to get 9 minus 16, which is minus 7. For number 3, we have to do some division here. I'm going to use synthetic division. So I'm going to say 3, 1, negative 5, 6. The 1 comes down, so I have 3, negative 2, negative 6. So that's going to become x minus 2 plus. Again, I'll do some synthetic division. So I have 1, 0, 0, negative 1. So that becomes a 1, 1, 1, 1. And positive 1, negative 1. So that's going to be x squared plus x plus 1. Combined up your like terms, x squared plus 2x minus 1 is your answer there. For number 4, we're going to do some multiplying. I don't know if you remember seeing this back in Algebra 1, but if these are opposites of each other, they're going to wind up canceling the middle term. So when we do this multiplication, we're going to get x, 3x minus 3, so x squared, negative 3x, 3x, those cancel, and negative 9. So I get x squared minus 9. Now if you notice the same structure here, this is going to be x squared minus 16. If you want to do the whole multiplication, it's totally fine. So then if you do x squared minus x squared, that's nothing. Negative 9 minus negative 16, it becomes a plus. So this answer is just 7. Number 5 says determine the first term and last term of this expression. So I have 3x, negative x, and 4x. Those are going to generate, when multiplied together, the first term, because that's each biggest exponent, each parenthesis. So the first term is going to be 3x times negative x times 4x. Notice I'm using the largest exponent term in each parenthesis. So that's going to become negative 12x to the third. That's going to tell me it's a cubic equation, which will tell me a lot about the expression when we graph it. The last term is going to be us taking the smallest exponent expression or piece in each expression. So that's going to be negative 1, 2, and 3, which is going to give us negative 6. This is important because this is also the y-intercept. All right, so now that we know that that's the y-intercept, I can say that this graph is going to intersect the y-axis at the coordinate 0, negative 6. Number 6, What are the area and the perimeter of the figure below? So let's start with perimeter because that's the easiest. I'm just going to add up all of the pieces on the outside, but if you notice, I'm missing a couple, right? I'm missing a couple. So looking at this piece here, which I'll highlight in blue, that piece is going to be the subtraction of 15x plus 10 and 6x plus 8. So that's going to wind up being 9x plus 2. Then the other piece that we can figure out is this piece. That piece I just highlighted in red is going to be the subtraction of 10x plus 30 minus the 2x plus 15. So that's going to be 8x plus 15. So then to find the perimeter, I can just add up all of my terms. So if I add up all of my terms, I get 10 plus 15 is 25, plus 2 is 27, plus 6 is 33x. 30 plus 10 is 40, plus 15 is 55. Oh no, I forgot something there. That's not 33. So let's do this again. So we have 10, 25, 27, 36. That's going to be 44, 50. Thank you. So then if we add up all of our numerical values, I have 30, 40, 55, 57, 72, 80. Then if we go through and create our area, so area, we're going to just kind of separate here. So I'm going to make two rectangles. So I have rectangle A and rectangle B. The area of rectangle A is going to be 2x plus 15 times 9x plus 2. The area of rectangle B is going to be 10x plus 30 times 6x plus 8. I'm just doing length times width here, nothing crazy. I can do all of my multiplication using my boxes. So I have 2x, 15, 9x, and 2, so that's 18x squared. That's 4x. That's 135x, and that's 30. For this one, if we do my boxes, I'll just combine them all at the end together. That'll make it easier for us. I have, 60x squared. I have 80x. I have 180x. And I have 240. So I have 78x squareds. All right, if I add 18 and 60. I have 80, 180. Those add up to become 260, 395, 399. So if I add up my x's, I have 399 x's and 270 for the numbers or constants. Number 7 says complete using long division or the reverse tabular method. This should say synthetic division. Sorry about that. So if we do synthetic division, 1, -1, -6, -9, 27. Synthetic division is the easier way to go here. So we wind up getting some stuff going on here. See a missing term, we have a remainder of nothing. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. So this will be x cubed plus 2x squared minus 9. Number 8, Amy solved the equation, stated that the solutions are 7/2 and -6. Do you agree with Amy's solutions? Why or why not? This is taking us a trip back to Algebra 1. So in Algebra 1, we learned that if we have a solution like x equals -6, I know a factor is going to be x plus 6. All right, it's essentially like unsolving. Same thing if I have a solution of 7/2, well, that's going to have a factor of 2x minus 7. Where am I getting that from? Well, if you unsolve that, multiply both sides by 2 and then subtract 7, right? So if I have x equals 7 over 2, if I multiply by 2, I have 2x equals 7. If I subtract 7, I have 2x minus 7 equals 0. I just found the factor. So then if I multiply out those two factors, if I get back this polynomial, then Amy was right. So that's going to become 2x squared minus 7x plus 12x minus 42. That's all going to combine up to make the 5x in the middle. So Amy is right. Number 9 says to compute the product. So here we're just multiplying the terms together. It's a 3 by 3, right? Just continued practice of this skill. So I have x to the 4th, x cubed, negative 3x squared, negative 5x squared. Oh, no, 5x cubed. My bad. And 5x squared, 15x, 2x squared, 2x, and negative 6. Combined up those like terms, x to the 4th, so this is a quartic polynomial, minus 4x to the 3rd. I have negative 6x squareds, 17x's, and minus 6. And finally, the last one on the same set of axes, graph the function f of x equals x squared plus 5x minus 6. So just type that in your calculator, figure out your x and y values, or make a table of values here, right? So if we were graphing x squared plus 5x minus 6, there's a couple things that we should know right off the bat, right? I know just by looking at that, it's going to cross the x-axis at negative 6, right? But there's other things that we have here, okay? So if we plug in 0, we get negative 6, so I know that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know that not just by plugging in 0, but because of what we talked about in today's lesson, right? The other thing I could also know, right, if I really wanted to get fancy, I can say x plus 6, x minus 1. Well, that gives me solutions of negative 6 and positive 1. So that means I know this is also going to intersect at negative 6 on the x-axis and positive 1 on the y-axis. But all of these points we can get right on the table of values on our calculator. Okay. So then if we keep going here, right, I know I'm going to have to start with some negative numbers, like, you know, negative 7, negative 6 we already know is 0, negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, etc. You can make your table of values from here, right? And again, this is right in the table of values in the calculator. And you can kind of keep going here. I know how to graph this without the calculator, so let me just get some points here. Now, in looking at these graphs, I notice you got some weird stuff going on here. So you got like a negative 12 is going to happen here. So your problem is going to kind of actually look like this. It's going to go off the page a little bit, which is okay. Okay. The roots are where the graph crosses the x-axis. That's kind of like the big part of this question. I don't really care about the graph too much. I know you could all graph a function. All right, hopefully this video helped. Sorry about all the review questions towards the end, but they are important to start kind of getting back in the swing of things for algebra. All right, in the next lesson, we're going to start to learn about factoring again. The first couple will kind of be straightforward, repeating stuff from Algebra 1, but then we will get more in depth, so be prepared. Good luck.